There's an old phrase used when someone's assigned one job and one job alone, then fails in spectacular fashion. The snapback is often, you had one job. Those in charge of the Republican National Convention had one job Monday night. That was to begin convincing the nation there is no other logical choice for president than Donald Trump. There are plenty of Republicans today who would like to know what happened to that job on day one. But that was then. This is now. Donald Trump and his team have to shake off their missteps, move forward, figuring out how to do so without a lot of big-name donors and lost messaging that could give Hillary an edge for Philadelphia next week. Now, speaking of which, no shortage of attacks on the presumptive Democratic nominee. But are they sticking? Are they doing the job of convincing the undecideds that a bad first day on national TV should be forgotten quickly when the alternative is her? Your phone calls are part of everything we do here, so get on the line right now. Be part of the conversation. 1-877-Newsmax, 1-877-639-7629. We have one job to do and nobody does it better. I'm Ed Berliner. This is The Hardline for Tuesday, July 19th, 2016.
Last night in Cleveland was surreal. I kept thinking, what's this like? And then I thought, when I was a little girl, I went to see, when they reissued it, the movie The Wizard of Oz. And there were similarities that appeared to me. Lots of sound and fury, even a fog machine. But when you pulled back the curtain, it was just Donald Trump with nothing to offer to the American people.
While we have no way to confirm if this is the actual case and if this was actually said, there are reports that for those leaving Quicken Loans Arena after day one of the Republican National Convention, the general consensus was, well, we've got 3 more days to make up for it. It was a day where talk was supposed to be about making America safe, where everybody in that arena and across America would understand the Donald Trump message that had helped catapult him into the role as the only individual Republicans believe can ensure they recapture the White House and fix what they believe is 8 years of Democratic disaster. That's how the message America was supposed to be left with. It was indeed a day, though, where the message was completely lost amidst a sea of charges, controversy, what was said, why it wasn't corrected properly, and why there were so few people left in those seats at the end of the night. 3 more nights, and the GOP has never before faced such urgency to get back on message and get back their momentum. Let's begin with the Newsmax chief Washington correspondent, whose coverage can be read 24/7 at the electronic pages of Newsmax.com. Live from Cleveland, John Gizzi. All right, John, give us the reality then of what has happened thus far on day 2, after what many coined a disastrous day 1. Do you get the feeling from the people there that they're getting it back together and they're getting back on track?
I get the feeling, Ed, that Team Trump, the Trump train as they like to call it, issues rapid response kits whenever there's a bump in the road or something doesn't go according to script. Last night, a very powerful opening that was focused on security had its problems, I will admit, when Mrs. Trump, the presumptive First Lady, used a paragraph of her speech that was plagiarized from Michelle Obama's similar speech at the 2008 Democratic Convention. Almost immediately, delegates I was talking to today responded that it is no big deal. It is trying to divert attention from an otherwise excellent speech by a gracious lady, and they right away brought up Barack Obama using almost identical lines from former Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick, and Joe Biden, of course, adopting the life of another politician from Britain, former Labor Party leader Neil Kinnock. Now, I had this response from several delegates from different states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and New Hampshire, only moments before. I suspect the Trump kit is preparing its delegates, its team, to answer this and put it behind them. and hopefully they think it will be over in 48 hours. We'll see.
It is fair to say, though, that what happened, whether plagiarized, whether somebody else did it or whatever, it took away from the message. We didn't hear a lot of really what was supposed to be the security of America, and the message has been muddled down today because of what happened on Monday. So let's then move ahead to Tuesday then here, second day. We're talking about making America work again. There's the question, John. Is the message, the real messaging, getting through?
Well, we're going to have to wait and see. The convention opened less than an hour ago. Senator Jeff Sessions of Alabama put Donald Trump's name in official nomination. Congressman Chris Collins of New York remarked that his part of the Empire State, the western part, is devastated by unfair trade policies, an opening to bring the message over about Donald Trump's trade agenda and getting America back to work. I'd say they're started in that direction right now.
Let's talk about one more thing here, John. About a minute we have left. Donald Trump's victory not in doubt, but there's talk now that an effort is underway to officially place the name of Texas Senator Ted Cruz into nomination as well, and to start getting some voting out there just to put some chaos into the proceedings. How much of a problem do you think this will cause tonight and moving forward?
Well, one thing I learned from the fight over the rules on Monday was that when delegates do not get their way, even if the rules say that they can't be put in nomination or can't have a roll call vote, they do know how to make a scene with booing and walking out. We saw this from two delegations yesterday. I know that former Virginia Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli, who's close to Senator Cruz, would no doubt like to see his name go in nomination, even though he doesn't have the votes to meet the threshold. Will he do it? I think they'll try. Will it go anywhere? I'm not sure, but I think we'll hear a lot more about this as the night goes on, Ed.
And we will hear much more from John Gizzi. You can get him at Newsmax.com, and he will join us here for the next couple of nights as we bring about our special coverage from Cleveland. John Gizzi, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again, my friend.